Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Krystal, we have an amazing show today.
We have a big show today. I mean, first, you and I both have some thoughts about impeachment. We'll get into that. We also have Ted Lieu on, who has his own thoughts about impeachment, and my sit down with Dr. Jane Goodall on capitalism, on Trump. She gets a little bit political. It's pretty exciting. All that and more today on Rising.
The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry.
Krystal, I know you have some thoughts about that. What's on your radar?
Indeed, some big news this morning. So Democrats have finally exhausted all of the rhetorical tricks up their sleeve to be sort of for impeachment, or maybe for impeachment, or impeachment for all who want it, or impeachment choice, or whatever other sleight of hand they've used to not really take a stand one way or another. We have finally arrived at an actual, honest-to-goodness impeachment inquiry. And I think it must be said that Democrats have arrived in this place in the dumbest possible way. I mean, think about this. From day one, it was never a secret to anyone who this odious, grifting, brazenly corrupt person in the White House was. We watched him hawk his products and shill for his golf courses while running for the presidency. We witnessed him tarring an entire people as rapists and criminals. We watched his increasingly fascistic and menacing rallies. We saw him call for a complete shutdown of any and all Muslims entering the country. The fact that he wore his worst flaws on his sleeve from the beginning has actually been part of what has made this whole situation so vexing. Should you impeach someone for conduct that they were essentially elected for? It's why all of the things this president has done, which would have been massive, debilitating scandals for any other president, amount to little more than a shrug of the shoulders for this one. No one's surprised that he would blackmail Ukraine to dig up dirt on Biden. I mean, let's be honest here. He came into office on a pledge to lock her up. Making good on politically motivated vendettas was a literal campaign promise. And yet, Democrats have dithered, waiting for some hero or another to finally emerge to make the case to the American people that they have obviously completely failed to make. Even today, support for impeachment stands at a whopping 35%. This in spite of the fact that actual measurable harm has been done to real human beings during this presidency. The Muslim ban, children orphaned, desperate refugees barred, institutionalized cruelty at the border, John Bolton allowed into the Situation Room. These acts are so much more egregious and worthy of censure than the process crimes of whatever Corey Lewandowski was supposed to say to Sessions, or whether Jim Comey felt that he was asked for a loyalty oath. So after all of that actual harm being let to slide, the hill we are now supposed to be willing to die on is that Trump's corruption is worse than Biden's corruption. I mean, seriously, that's the case you want to make? I'm sorry, I know people don't really want to hear this right now, but this is insane. Let me just make sure I get the argument Democrats plan to make here. So it's only okay for your kids to cash in on your office in the customarily accepted method of rich rewards for jobs they are wholly unqualified for. It's only okay for you to cash in on the presidency through $400,000 speeches to the Saudis or Goldman Sachs or whoever after you've left the job, not through hotel stays while you're in it. It's only okay to prosecute your political vendettas by dropping your own Oppo research on them to the media, not that of a foreign country's. Now look, let me be totally clear here. Trump has in fact taken corruption to a new and brazen level that is definitely an order of magnitude worse. No false equivalence here. But if you think the American people see the corruption sins of the right as a completely different creature than the corruption sins of the left, you are in for a very rude awakening. Of all the things Democrats might choose to focus on that have made Trump a uniquely awful president, they want to fixate on the fact that Trump pressured Ukraine to reveal actual potential corruption with Joe Biden. Of all the arguments Democrats could make about why he should be defeated or removed, being somewhat worse than Biden is really the one we're going for here? People, we know how this story ends. The sequel to HRC's emails versus Trump and Russia is apparently Hunter Biden's payday versus Trump and Ukraine. Trump stuff is worse, no doubt, but in the end, no one cares. Honestly, They kind of appreciate that he sticks his corruption right in your face rather than hiding it and trying to pretend he's some saintly moralist running on his great values. Look, we know impeachment will not end with Trump convicted and removed from office. The ultimate result is just a mark in the history books. And so in the end, rather than marking the history books on behalf of traumatized immigrant children, we will mark them on behalf of Hunter Biden's right to cash in on his father's name without scrutiny. Way to take a stand on behalf of ordinary corrupt politicians everywhere. I'm sure President Trump thanks you for your contribution to his reelect.